Hi, and welcome to Eating Plebeian. Yes, I'm in an unusual environment today. Anyway, I had a really good one lined up last night, and I went through and cooked it, and it turned out fantastic. Unfortunately, what ended up happening is I had about a third of my footage, the last third, just kind of evaporate from me, and I had multiple problems just everywhere. I had on my main new camera the thing overheated. Uh, Going through. Fortunately, I was able to salvage everything there. But then on my other camera where I collect the audio as well, also failed. So, anyways, what little was left was kind of mumbling off in the distance from a camera that was not really set up for audio, and you really couldn't see anything up close anyhow. And when it comes to food vlogging and recipe vlogging, you really want to see it because over the internet, visual is everything because you can't taste it, and so you're fighting that one from the outset. Anyhow, even I get a little bit burnt out from cooking things. When you want to hit, three, four, five recipes a day, recipes a week. It takes a lot of time because your cooking time almost doubles because you're messing around, setting up cameras, checking microphones, making sure that you didn't leave a lot of schmutz, sitting around. You're cleaning the kitchen more than you even normally would. Someone asked me what's the difference about, being a recipe YouTuber versus just being a cook, and I said you cook your cooktop, or you clean your cooktop a whole lot more. That is true. Anyways, but when you run against these frustrations, that tends to put a little bit of damper on your enthusiasm when you've been putting in so much extra effort. But the point of this whole thing is that even if this wasn't a technical problem, when your dish goes sideways, and especially for people to whom Eating Plebeian is targeted, novices and intermediate cooks, it can get really frustrating. And why not just go out for pizza afterwards? I get it, boy. I tell you what, I've been cooking for so long, it really just it really sticks in your craw. So you got to keep at it. Go ahead and take an evening, take an afternoon, whatever it happens to be, but go back toward it. If one of your main goals happens to be cutting the expenses from your budget, for all these restaurant and takeout bills, things like that, then let that drive you. Let that checking account balance stare you in the face and really ask you to keep on doing what you're doing inside the kitchen. So I also want to announce that I have a real urge to continue making even more than usual, and that is precisely because I had been out of work for about 5 or 6 months. I've been in the IT sector for actually over 30 years now, and that amount of how shall we say, loss of momentum is just really nuts. And I had all this time, so I figured what I would do is I would do my love, and that is, continue cooking, but actually do something with it and help people out. And so that's where Eating Plebeian came in. But I start, actually, a new position tomorrow, and it is a fantastic position. One that I didn't think I would achieve again because of ageism inside of the IT and the technology center. But I stuck to it. I banged it out. I've got it. And so everything is looking really good there. But I do have to wonder, and I did have to wonder at the time, what is it going to do to my publishing schedule here? Because I'm the first to tell you that I am not going to change anything. I continue doing this. I don't make a penny off it. But I've discovered that I really love doing it. Sometimes it's a frustration. Sometimes my head is so full of, what am I going to cook first? And, how am I going to prep this? How am I going to showcase it and all the rest? But once the editing program has finally been saved and shut down and everything else, it feels really, really good. And I don't see that as being something I want to stop. Now, will Eating Plebeian and the videos be affected? Possibly. I don't know. I don't want them to. And I'm going to still see if I can't get around, 3 or 4 videos a week. But so that's why I'm really trying to kind of jam some stuff in, and why it really kind of hurt that last night's recipe didn't work, at least for video. If I hadn't mentioned it, by the way, it was homemade tomato sauce and homemade meatballs for spaghetti, and God, it worked out great. It was just really tasty. It went well. The video was a little long, or would have been, but there we are. And lastly, when it came down to it being a technical issue and also being an IT guy, I am okay. Well, first let's address the fact that I'm an IT guy. I am possibly one of the most cynical son of a guns on the face of the earth. I have seen, I think, almost everything when it comes to user interaction and hardware problems, and my computer won't work. Can you look to see if it's plugged in? I can't. It's dark. Why is it dark? Well, the power's out. Yeah, okay. I'm sure you've probably heard that, but it has actually happened to me, and everything else that you could possibly imagine. And so when there's a technical issue for something that I'm involved in, and I'm the one that's operating it, I get down on myself. I get down on myself hard. And it can happen to everyone, and will happen eventually, no matter how experienced you are. So I feel a bit of a personal failure when this thing, is going on. So I want to try all the more. But when you are trying to cook and you are trying to get everything out there on the table and feed your family and have it taste good, and know you're not going to be running out for an Uber delivery, it's best for you, and so it also keeps your family around you. It keeps you in touch with everything that they're doing with a lot of busy lives. My kids are now very young adults. They're not even technically teenagers, and they're always running in, running out. You're wondering what they're doing. If you can nail them down to their seat for 45 minutes or a half an hour or something like that, just to eat, it helps a whole lot. So don't give up. Put the the dish that you were making with the burnt garlic into the trash, clean up the kitchen, and then try to figure out what you're going to do next. Go to the grocery store, pick up the ingredients, watch videos, even if they're not mine. Try to figure out what it is that you want to cook, and go at it again, because it's the practice that will eventually get you there. So anyhow, not all is lost from that kitchen failure of mine the other day. I've got meatballs, and I've got a lot of great sauce, and so I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pick up some nice bolillo rolls, and if you're not familiar with what those are, down here in Texas and the Southwest, and generally they're these like hoagie-sized pieces of bread that you can usually get for less than $1. And they're some of the best bread and make the finest sandwiches I've ever had. So I'm going to try to pick up some of those rolls and maybe some provolone cheese, and have some really great sandwiches to go along with them. So I hope you'll join me for those whenever they're ready. In the meantime, if you have any suggestions about any recipes you'd like to see, or any skills that you would like to see demonstrated because you're trying to pick them up, drop them down in the comments. I'm happy to look at them. And so anyways, hit the like and subscribe button. I know this isn't the sort of video that I would normally ask you to do that with, but it helps me out, and frankly, trying to get out of my technical failure depression. And I'd appreciate it a lot if you did. Thanks very much, and I will see you next time.